Hello, today we are going to learn about the distance learning during COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, this is the modality where the education or the educational system of the Philippines are going to use the distance learning because of the spreadable COVID-19 virus. Okay, next is what is distance learning? So a distance education, students who are not always be physically present at school. So that is means that student and the teachers are not even, they are separately or remotely physically present. Okay. And distance learning takes place between the teacher and the learner who are geographically remote from each other. So this instruction is called distance learning. So we have online learning, where we have the three types of distance learning. The online distance learning or e-learning, they can use computers or cell phone with the use of technology and internet. Okay, and the modular distance learning is using the module or the copied handbook or activity sheets to the learners. And we have TV and radio based instruction. This is on air. It can be in DOMS. So it can spread through radio or television. And the instruction is based on the radio also and television. Okay, this distance learning is usually used when the quarantine or the situation of this area is ECQ, Enhanced Community Quarantine, or GCQ, General Community Quarantine. So they are not going to, or they are not allowed to go outside. So this distance learning is required to use. Okay. After this, we have the blended learning. So what is blended learning? So it's the combination of the face-to-face and online distance learning, like modular distance learning and the radio and TV based instruction. So this blended learning, like face-to-face, is used when it's as a left from the GCQ to ECQ. They are MGCQ, Modified General Community Quarantine. So they are limited, or a small amount of persons are allowed to go outside. Okay. We have the face-to-face or modular, face-to-face and online distance learning. We have the synchronous like this, face-to-face and radio-based instructions on the air also. You can use the TV but face-to-face limited. We have the face-to-face and or modular distance learning with online distance learning and television radio-based instruction. The same as the distance learning, but they are not going to use the face-to-face. Okay. Student communication and collaboration in the distance learning environment. All academic activities has been switched to remote delivery. So they are separated to each other. Even in the remote area wherein online learning are not widely used. So from this area, in the remote area, this emergency transformation has various obstacles, and in the remote learning, there is no internet access. Like for example, in the upland, the far-flung areas, so they have limited access and the low internet connection, appropriate equipment because of poverty. They cannot buy cell phone or any gadgets that they can communicate. Lack of quiet space to access computers. They don't have computers at all. Learning resource access issues, like for example, how they can go, how they can take their assignments. There is no online that they can search. Okay, with this, faculty preferred the traditional learning and inertia, which trains the personal, social, and technical, and political and economic infrastructure challenge that need to face. So from this problem or obstacle that hindered in a remote area is back to traditional way. So the teacher and the learners here have a difficulty to communicate each other. And the learning and the teaching and learning here is limited. It's because they cannot see each other. They cannot do the face-to-face. They cannot communicate what they are going to ask about the lesson. They cannot communicate to each other directly. Okay? Next, the distance learning focus on its overall effectiveness as a total for supporting education and student satisfaction that promotes student-centered pedagogy. So this means this distance learning is also used for student-centered pedagogy. So the student should do their self-learning, how they can learn in their own way. The professional development or the teachers had their mobility on the labor market had to depend on technical knowledge. If they know how to use the computers or how they connect the internet, they cannot do the online selling or marketing. So if you have a technical knowledge or you have advanced knowledge on technology, you are a little bit upper or a better way that you can teach students because you know how to use the gadgets. And also in professions like teachers, they are going to study online like we have today, that we have like with what we have been doing today. The teachers will demonstrate their topics through online or video recording and upload it to YouTube and send it to the instructor. Okay? Next is we have theoretical background and the hypothesis development. So that means the education is crucial for social and economic change. The new information, the communication technology, the social media, the development application for mobile devices have brought extraordinary changes in education system and in the society. So the technology, the social media are always in control or the one who are been using to communicate student and learners, communicate the student and the teachers. Okay, by using the technology or the social media. The example here are the Facebook Messenger. So this Facebook Messenger is using by the teacher and the pupils to communicate each other to close the gap of the learning process. Okay. Next is the engagement theory has introduced. In order to take the learning effective, that students should involve in assignment that are project-based. So that is means that the learners will use their own work and they can find their own solution to the problem. And this also been stated that collaboration, involvement are achieved with the use of communication. Yes. So if the teacher and the learners have communicate each other, collaborate each other, and communicate each other, they have the capabilities to improve the skills of the students. And opportunities to work the groups has diversity of knowledge perspective. So they can, from others, they can learn what have to do what they have to do, like this and like that. Okay, empirical findings. So learning is a social activity that is constructed through communication. So that means that through communication, by collaborative effort for the teachers and the student, that they can communicate each other with the use of medium instruction, with the use of computers, use of laptops, cell phones, and technology, that they can use. The learning and interaction of the students are always on the better place. Okay? The social media can be widely used for professional also purposes. The businesses, the product they can sell online is also give an example on this. Professional experience. So if you have experiences, the prior knowledge on technology. So it is the positive impact of a teacher who always and who knows how to use this technology. Because of this, you can teach your student well because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the conclusion. Based on the distance learning, distance method of learning are irreplaceable in supporting the education process. So, like as for today, we are going also to use the distance learning because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, it improved the student communication, collaboration capabilities, their skills. They can do their own work. And of course, with the help of each other for the teacher and the student. Okay? It is important, in emergency, the distance learning the distance learning is used in times of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay? That's all. Thank you and good day.